we're going to see VMware Mirage in a demo.
Hi, I'm Nikl. I'm the product marketing manager for Mirage. Just to give you a quick overview of the Mirage solution, it's basically aimed at managing laptops and desktops or persistent VMs. The goal is basically to centrally manage these devices but allow end users to execute locally. They get to enjoy the native performance of their devices while IT can do things like hardware agnostic disaster recovery, single image management, hardware refresh, in-place Windows 7 migrations. These are the kind of things that IT will be able to do in the data center while the end users enjoy their actual normal Windows laptops. So what I'm going to do now is click a little bit through the management console. What we have here, we have a list of the devices that are being managed by IT. You can perform a number of operations on these devices by simply right-clicking. For example, if you've built a base layer, and a base layer is a single golden image that contains all the Windows updates that you care about in IT, you can right-click a device and assign a base layer very easily. Just click that base layer right there, and then what will happen is this base layer will be sent down to the endpoint. The endpoint will download it. Once it's finished, it'll blend that data directly into the local copy of Windows. So your users are always just using a Windows installation. It's not a hypervisor or anything like that. The Mirage client basically runs in the background in the system tray and makes monitors for changes like this.
Well, you can actually update applications like this as well if you build
If you build it in the base layer, absolutely. So when you build these base layers, you basically got a reference CVD in the data center. You can install any applications that you want. You would then capture a base layer, and once you have a list of these base layers, that's when you can go to the CVDs themselves and apply them. So when you apply them, like I said, the endpoint will download all of that data, and it'll apply it directly into Windows. So we're not streaming a desktop from the data center. We're basically downloading stuff to a local version of Windows, and we're applying those changes to that locally running instance of Windows. It's not a hypervisor or VDI type solution. On top of that, when we do all this, we also do storage and network deduplication. We'll only store stuff in the data center once. We'll only transfer over the network the things that have to be there. So it's very efficient over a WAN. It's great for IT to centrally manage laptops and desktops that are at a remote branch office. So it's a tremendously effective solution over the LAN or the WAN.
So what's happen if someone comes to me and he says the laptop is broken, just recover my data?
Sure, so what would basically happen, you'd attach a new laptop to the Mirage system. All you would do is install the Mirage client into Windows XP or Windows 7. And then what you do is you go to our common wizard section, select our disaster recovery wizard, and you click replace the user machine. Here, you'd select the endpoint that was lost or missing, and then on this next screen, you'd have a list of all the replacement devices that were available to you. We don't have any here because we don't have enough space, but in theory, you just click the replacement device here, and you'd click next, and then you'd select the layers you wanted to reapply back to that device. And those layers would commonly be the user installed apps, the user profile, and all of the user files and data. So the end user will get all of their stuff back without overwriting any of the Windows stuff. And if the IT administrator also wanted to apply a Windows 7 base layer to bring that new replacement device up to IT corporate compliance, they could do that also. So when IT applies these base layers, it's important to note that the user layers are not overwritten. So the cool thing is the end user gets local execution, online or offline usage, full true native performance, and a complete backup of all the stuff they care about. But IT can also assign single image management. They can assign images they care about to these endpoints without overwriting all of the user stuff.
So if the user has his own screensaver, his own desktop, and all this stuff?
We'll back up all of that. We'll keep all of that synchronized.
And it's going to get restored as well?
Yep, anytime they're connected to the network, we'll make sure that endpoint is synchronized with what's in the data center, so it stays up to date, real time, not real time, but almost real time.
So we're going to have a look at the client.
So the client's really simple. This is the client machine. Looks just like any other client machine. You can do all the stuff that you normally would with any other endpoint. And then the Mirage client is running here in the system tray. If you want to pop it open, you can. It's not doing anything right now, but it basically runs transparent to the end user. The only time it'll ask user to do something is to reboot, and that's after it's just downloaded an update or a replacement after a DR situation. So it's got a minimal amount of user downtime. It's extremely effective over the WAN. It's a great DR and signal image management solution for physical endpoints, laptops, desktops, persistent VMs, all that stuff that's hard to manage, especially when it's distributed.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure, thank you.